tip. So let's get on to the second segment of the podcast where we talk about the matchups that happened last night, last weekend, and the ones that are coming up tonight. Even though there was a lot of football that was going on last weekend, there was also a lot of basketball that was going on last weekend. So we'll catch up on some of those. One of the big matchups that happened, once again, I mentioned before, was the Lakers getting a huge win. D'Angelo Russell finally steps up. He scores 30 points. He's been averaging great numbers recently, and recently helped LeBron James in a huge win over Portland, 134 to 110. D'Angelo Russell scored 34 points, 8 assists, 6 for 11 from 3. LeBron James, 28, almost had 30. Anthony Davis, had 14 points and 14 rebounds. Wasn't that bad. We also talked about the Brooklyn Nets in the first segment, so we can go ahead and pick up on that as well. The reason I say I don't know where their position is right now is because they currently blew an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Los Angeles Clippers. This happened last night. The Clippers right now are arguably one of the favorites to win in the Western Conference. So if they can't hold a lead like that, an 18-point lead, if they can't hold a big lead like that against them, then it's going to be a very difficult time for them when they have to guard someone like Giannis. And on top of that, guard Damian Lillard with that. In some other news as well, last night, the Phoenix Suns matched up against the Pacers and beat them 117 to 110. The Pacers recently acquired Pascal Siakam from a trade, as I mentioned previously, but now they're currently 0-2 with him on the team. But to be fair, the Suns right now, they're not a team to mess with this year. This time, the Suns were led by Kevin Durant in scoring with 40 points, becoming the 14th player in NBA history to score 40 points without attempting a single free throw. He also became the first player in Phoenix Suns history to score 40 points without attempting a free throw. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal also didn't go unnoticed. Devin Booker scored 26 points, while Bradley Beal also scored 25, with the big three combining for 91 points. This is another team that I see having a chance to win it all, assuming every player plays their part and in the playoffs and nobody gets injured. This team definitely has the pieces. This team has the offense. They don't necessarily have a strong defense. However, I do believe that their offense is going to be powerful enough and can offer enough scoring from enough players to essentially be able to make it all of the way. Grayson Allen, another great player on the team that should be recognized. He didn't have a good game this time. However, he's the only player in the NBA that is having a 50, 40, 90 season. Very efficient. If that efficiency and all of that scoring provided by those three players, on top of Grayson Allen, maybe even Eric Gordon, that would be a really bad matchup for the Clippers. Because right now the Clippers seem like a very, very, very good team on both sides of the ball. However, they are mainly an offensive team with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, because now that Kawhi and Paul George are the first and second options, they essentially have to lead the offense, and that would require them to put less effort on defense, because even though that's half the game, even though, like, if you're really good at defense, that would mean you'd have more possession on offense, but it's more important for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to be able to score efficiently for that team rather than defend efficiently, even though they can do both relatively well. We talk about efficiency. The Lakers seem to be winning a lot more games more efficiently now, since they beat the Blazers in a blowout. Their wins have been recently weird, as I mentioned before. I'll go deeper into that. That's my bad. They lost to Brooklyn, but they won to Oklahoma City. It's weird. They beat the Clippers, but they lost to Dallas. They lost to Utah, pardon me, but they beat Dallas. Even though LeBron didn't play for Utah, obviously, they probably would have won if LeBron played against Utah, but he didn't. D'Angelo was making a statement once again. It was a big game they needed to win. The Denver Nuggets also handled business against the Wizards behind Jokic's 40 points after being the only team to beat Boston at home, which definitely raises the question if Boston can compete with the other teams in the West. Even though tonight they go up in a very anticipated matchup of Boston against Dallas, where Kyrie played on the Boston Celtics. So that is a very anticipated matchup that a lot of Celtics fans are going to want to see, simply because they are not a big fan of Kyrie. They play in Dallas. We'll see if Boston has what it takes to be able to overcome that home field advantage that Dallas has. Phoenix, after winning the previous game, is at home again to play the Bulls. Playing in back-to-back games it's obviously going to be difficult, but we'll see if they can manage. They seem to be a very strong team in the regular season. We'll see if they can prove that in the playoffs, similar to how we'll see if the Clippers can prove that and the 76ers can prove that in the playoffs. Embiid currently has an active streak of scoring 30 points in 20 straight games. I don't think that'll stop. Even with Victor Wembanyama being the good rim protector that he is, I don't think that's going to stop in the near future. So I believe the Sixers are going to end up winning this game and end up torching Victor Wembanyama. So we are running out of time for the second segment, so please stand by after this short break. And I'm going to get into the third segment where I talk about my personal NBA power rankings. So I'll be right back.